every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast at 11 a.m. The Lall Show, only on Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM.
Broadcasting to you live on 24 Saffron Street, Charlestown. It is 19 hours 20 in Guyana, right across the Eastern Caribbean. It's Monday, it's the 27th day of March 2023. It is time for us to tell it as it is on this great Monday evening. We trust that you had a well-rested weekend and you're ready for the information that we have in store for you. As always, it's a bombshell. So we hope you guys are going to encourage your friends and families, your neighbors, to join us on 99.1 and 99.5 FM and on our social media platforms for the Lall Show. This evening, I'm honored to introduce to you the man of the moment. Needs no introduction, but here we are tonight. After his presentation, you guys can call us on 226-7453, 226-7454, 622-2222, and 624-6456. Remember, running low on credit, then you can definitely send us a message to return your call, and we definitely will do that. With that said, sir, namaste, and the floor is yours.
I like how you said it. Namaste. Namaste to all you beautiful people. Joshua, you had a good weekend?
I had a good weekend.
What you did?
Spent it with friends and family.
Had any drinks?
No.
No? Lots to eat?
Lots to eat.
I had a few drinks, and I enjoy it after a long time. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's an honor to sit here trying to educate you as to what's happening in your country. I feel very joyful and happy doing this. Like Josh said, you should try to get more on board to listen to these messages. They're extremely, extremely important and I should say frightening as to what's happening in the world today, especially our country. This is the most frightening era in the history of this country. I have never felt so down and sad for the Guyanese people and their rich resources. You know, Josh, I love to. This is my turf. This is my baby, to talk about our resources, which are being squandered in what should be the best time ever for the Guyanese people. Me and you, Uncle, but it's turning out to be the worst ever in the history of this country. The giveaways and the sellouts are happening so fast, it is difficult to keep up. And before you know it, it's all gone. What is happening in this country, Uncle, is 1 trillion times worse than what is happening in any other part of this world. Like I said, I've never seen corruption giveaway like this ever in the history of mankind. I see presidents, heads of states, take bribes and sell out their country's wealth. But never have I seen it the way I'm seeing it here in Guyana, Josh. All over the world, countries are breaking away from the old colonial masters, creating their own space. Yes, their own space. Standing on their own feet. Russia, China, India, Brazil, and South Africa, along with a number of other countries, will be meeting in South Africa in August of this year. In excess of 3.2 billion people, almost half the world's population, already teaming up, Uncle. Yes, teaming up with those 5 heavyweights to move away from the colonial exploiters, to take their identity with their resources into their own hands. Yes, they're teaming up. 3.2 billion people teaming up with those 5 countries to take their destiny into their own hands with their resources. This game plan has begun sometime now, and it's getting stronger by the day. Countries beginning to wake up, and the white enslavers are beginning to smell the rat. They're feeling the heat already. No more will they be allowed to steal countries' wealth and live like kings and queens, like they do. The heat is coming on. The screws are tightening, and people's eyes are opening, Uncle. This morning, massive protests in France, in Germany, in Israel, all over Europe, in England too. They are not getting the life they once lived before. When the free money of Africa and Asia and other third world countries like Guyana used to roll in, the heat is on. And our leaders are rolling. Guyana leaders are rolling the other way around. Guyana has become a third world slave with our resources to them. We are becoming their new bank. We have become their savior. And who allowing this, Joshua? Yes. Who allowing this? These clowns. Y'all continuing to elect when the day come. In Kenya, a big rally going on there. Protests continues across the country because of the high cost of living and the corruption there. Kenya's opposition leader says the protests against government is over the high cost of living and corruption, Uncle. They say it will continue. Despite the police ban, they will now be out in the streets every Monday and Thursday, Joshua. Oh boy, I love it. France, since January, thousands of citizens have been protesting in the streets against the new law that the government wants to pass, changing the pension age from 62 to 64. Today the protests continued, causing the traffic to be disrupted, schools closed, airports are also affected, and garbage piling up all over the cities and towns in France. Israel, weeks now they have been protesting. The Prime Minister wants to control the justice system so that he does not go to jail because he's on trial for corruption and jail is staring him in his face. Well, the people showing him in the streets, it will happen. He will go to jail. Like I said, Germany, transport workers continue to strike, demanding better wages and working conditions. The airports, buses and train stations all across Germany were closed. Over 380,000 air passengers were affected. Yes. We giving away we whole country and nobody taking to the streets. We starving and nobody moving a finger or shaking a leg. and you continue love the PNC and the PPP. You're going good. All through the weekend, Vice President Barajagdeo, the head of the PPP party, running around campaigning. We will fight hard, a hard campaign. We're looking to take the reins in the PPP strongholds. We will contest in all areas, confident of our track record of progress, delivering betterment. Those were his words. He went to Babujan and tell the people they must open a Facebook and Instagram account to sell the track record of the PPP because the PNC gonna come in again. The PNC gonna say, Joshua, you're gonna hear them gonna say the next thing. They're campaigning for go back in office to sell out more, to thief more. Any one of them campaigning against ExxonMobil with this robbery that is going on? Any one of them fighting for your prosperity, your patrimony that is being carted off by the boatloads every day? No. No, no. They're busy fighting one another and putting me and you to fight against each other. And while we all fighting like idiots and like fools, yes, like numbskulls, like morons, yes, the happy foreigners making way, I should say making hay while the sun's shining with your resources. I didn't plan to say anything about oil tonight, but I must tell you, Uncle and Auntie, we are in trouble and this country needs to come to a full stop. I'm going to begin with a question here. Can your neighbor go to the bank and take a humongous loan in your name, tying your children and grandchildren to it, to repay it with an interest rate that you don't know about? How can something so basic like this ever happen in your home? How can that ever happen to a nation? What kind of a leaders would allow oil companies to take billions of US dollars from their own pockets, invest it in Guyana, in which we oil have to pay and we don't have no say? We have no say on the interest rate that comes with those billions of loans. Can anyone help me to understand that? That was our Sunday lead story in the Kaieteur News, where Guyana have no say on the 50 billion US dollars Exxon said to spend out there. The contract allows the oil companies to do business like that with Guyana's oil. And these intellectual politicians we have know that. Yes, they know that. And still approving more projects for more loans. And you have no say. No say whatsoever on the interest rates. I am convinced that that oil out there doesn't belong to any one of us. It belongs to the politicians and the oil companies for what you, all of you, not me, allowing them to do to this country. I am tired talking about protests, so let's move on. Your oil working to pay the US billions in loans, in which Guyana have no say, and also paying an unknown, humongous interest rate that we also have no say in. How you like that, Uncle? How you like that, Auntie? Your neighbor buy a car and tell you it cost a $2 million car and say it costs 10 million. On top of that, he tell you got to pay the interest on that you don't know of. You might want to say Glenn talking Nancy story here. No, auntie. No. This is what is happening in this country under the leadership of Bharat Jagdeo, Norton Ramjatan and President Ali. Corruption is the way of life in Guyana today. Corruption is the king of the day, and it has become our national religion. If you're Hindu, Christian, or Muslim, that will change soon. Uncle, only a complete change from these two criminals, the PPP and the PNC, can clean out Guyana. And when you talk about corruption, Joshua, like you interfere with some of them testicles, if they have. Or maybe you want to murder their parents in front of them. They want to be re-elected, to sell out more, to corrupt this country more, to borrow more, yes, to thief more. What has Guyana received from our gold, our bauxite, our timber, and most of all our oil ever since? You know what you receive? Empty lunch kits. And plenty of you going to bed hungry when the night come. Uncle, when enough be enough for some of them? Huh? When enough is enough for their friends too. All of them want to be re-elected, to keep on approving more and more oil projects and award contracts to build this and to build that, so that they can grab more for themselves with the hefty, unbelievable contract prices. I go out and stay in your finger for them, man. Go and stay in your finger, plus I you behind for them. Are you going good? Like I said earlier, the long exploited non-white world is waking up, Uncle. The entire Africa and Asia and more people in Guyana is waking up. I am so happy to hear we have lots of Glenn Lalls in every village across this country. I'm happy for that, Josh. A Glenn Lall in South Africa named Julius Malema is talking the right talk. He said in an interview I just looked at, before any foreign country talk to him, they should repatriate the wealth they have stolen out of South Africa. He said he wants 5 trillion US before he even think of talking to any foreign country. Joshua, I love that man. And I believe he will take over South Africa come the next election. Uncle, Mr. Malema said, every African nation should demand from their colonizers, from their long-time slave masters, the wealth they have stolen out of their countries, or you just kick them out. How can that ever be wrong, Josh? Sure. Or which Guyanese would disagree with a man? You know anybody you disagree with a man? No. They must, if they want to come back here to talk to us, they must bring back our wealth. Yep. Don't come and say you want Isle Black. Bring back we wealth to your thief. In Guyana, these corrupt clowns we have here, allowing every Tom, Dick and Harry to come, continue the colonization, to continue slave master days, allowing them to rape us further. The largest gold companies in the world sneaking in Guyana, quietly fetching out your gold by the tons, and you're all sleeping. Yes, moping, hoping and dreaming for a good life. Look at the oil deal with ExxonMobil. You're not getting anything from it. All you're getting is loans from their own wealth. Yes, from your own wealth. Them thieving and still putting on fat interest every day for help you eat and pay salaries and to build infrastructures so that our politicians and their friends can thief more. I received a call Saturday morning from Pomona on the Essequibo coast. The government built a road there and the residents came out and asked the contractor and the government engineer what the contractor was paid for. Meaning they wanted to see the work plan, what the contractor should give them as a road. When they asked the government engineer, I am told he jumped in a vehicle and drive away. This is where corruption kicks in. This is where the thievery goes on. The citizens of the country who is burdened with these debts. Yes. Who is burdened with the debts, uncle? Monies is being spent and they are being left in the dark. This has been happening ever since I know myself, where you can't ask questions. Yeah, you can't ask questions what's going on. It's like you're interfering with some of them testicles, if they have. This type of attitude has been nurtured by Bharat Jagdeo and filtered down into the coalition government. This is what they have been doing, project after project. Don't question them. Allow them to do what they want and thief what they want. The PPP didn't fix my street because of Glenn Lall. When the coalition go in, they fix it. And as soon as they were fixing it, I asked to speak to the government engineer. I left several messages with my telephone number for him to call me. All I wanted to ask him, uncle, was what are the specifications listed in the contract that the contractor has to do. Man, I never see that government engineer, nor did he ever call me. And the road finished. The contractor did not do the entire street. Portions were skipped. And when I called David Patterson and complained, he's skinning his teeth and saying, man, Glenn, you ain't got your road fixed. You don't want to hear what I told him, uncle and auntie. If we were on a one-on-one, I would tell you what I told him. But these are the people who we elected. This is who we kill ourselves for, to put into office. People who have the nerve to tell you, man, you ain't got your road fixed. It started blocking up already. The contractor gone with the money, and the engineer who's supposed to look out for we must be get what he had to get. And life goes on. Life goes on. In Covent Garden, on the east bank of Demerara, a young 15-year-old schoolboy stopped me and said, Mr. Glenn, I asked the contractor to see the bill of quantities for the road he was building. He even asked the government engineer to tell him what the contractor was being paid to give the citizens of that village. The road done, already blocking up, and that 15-year-old still waiting for an answer. This is the culture created under Barajagdeo, continued under the coalition government, and now moving with jet speed under President Ali. Every day, yes, every single day, it's continuing. Every day is a new contract, one after the other. Saturday, we carried a story in which the government picked a company, paying that company $50 million just for supervise the construction of Karasabai Secondary School in Region 9. You didn't hear me, Josh? $50 million they're paying a company just for supervise. Yes. Just to supervise the construction of the school, you know. That school price tag. Oh. The school price tag to the contractor that building the school. You want to hear how much I talk about it many times? $1,700 million. Not 17 million, you know. 1,700 million. The government paying a company 50 million additional to go peep and see if the contractor building the school to specifications. Meaning, ensuring that he's using the right steel or the right amount of stone, cement, zinc sheets, and so on. Yes. That's what you paying $50 million for. To spot check, to ensure the contractor don't cock the work. $1,700 million for one school, uncle, in Region 9. And pay $50 million to supervise it. You could believe this thing? Abraham Zul, secondary on the Essequibo Coast. I tell you this thing already, man. 587 million. Y'all go and see it. They could have built 3 secondary schools with that money. Don't blame the contractor, you know. It's not a contractor to be blamed, uncle and auntie. It's the people from top to bottom. They are the crooks. You think them roads and them schools they're building, all the money going to them contractors? Merry Christmas, if I think so. When they're not borrowing to build, they're borrowing to rent to thief more. The ministry recently commissioned a 14 million primary school at Koshibai in Region 9. They're planning to build a secondary school at Tushin on the west coast of Demerara. The price for that school is not yet out. But the tender board done award a contract to a company for draw the plan and supervise the construction, man. You hear that? The school for Tushin on the west coast, they done award a contract to someone to draw the plan and supervise the construction. $26.5 million. Just to make sure them use the right zinc sheets and steel. You hear me, brother? $26.5 million. GR Engineering Company. One of that, uncle. One supervision would make your life great, eh? Joshua? You don't want nothing else. If you take a year to just watch over them screw, they're putting the screw right, they nail the nail proper, they put on the right zinc sheet, you got check couple steel, for a year or 2 year, you life set. $26.5 million. Again, to build a school in Torkine, Sophia. Them don't give a company named Kaieteur Inc. $14.3 million to draw the plan and supervise the construction. You hear me, buddy? Yep. The price for that school also is yet to be announced. $14.3 million for draw and plan for one school and watch it over. Wow! I promised tonight not to talk about oil, so I am not speaking about oil. Yes, they're going to build one in Camarang in Region 7. $39 million done awarded to a company called E&A Consultancy for draw the plan and supervise the construction again. How you like that, man? Huh? You hear that? $40 million just to watch over these projects. The price for that school ain't announced as yet too. They are about to build a school in Prospect on the east bank of Demerara. The contract awarded for $15 million to Kaieteur Inc. again to draw the plan and watch over the work. You hear that? $15 million. Some of your house, some of you build fancy house for $15 million and nobody watching over. They must pay $15 million for watch over, $40 million to watch over, $39 million to watch over. Joshua, these chaps calling money like if you're picking it up off the streets, bro, and throwing it around like drunken sailors in this country. The North Riverdale School were burned down the other day. Them give a contractor, Marcel Gaskin and Associates, $24.5 million to watch over. All this watch over. I wonder sometimes if it's security them talking about. You want to hear the school price for that one? $567 million. Yes. $24.5 million to supervise and $567 million for the school. Government going to build 6 hospitals. Then I got one in this country, not even one for the last 30 years. They're going to build 6, uncle. One in Anna Regina, in the Essequibo Coast, Dikendron, West Coast, Demerara, Diamond, East Bank, Demerara, Enmore, East Coast, Demerara, Bath in Berbice, Skeldon also in Berbice, for 136 million euro. Euro dollars. Uncle, that is 24 million American dollars per hospital. 24 million US can build 3 7-story building on Regent Street and still make a hefty profit. You hear me? One $24 million for build one school. Are you gotta wait, watch and see what you all gonna get for them hospitals. 6 hospitals. But you hear me, brother? And they don't have one hospital in this country that is fully functional too. That any Guyanese can walk in and say, I am happy, I am safe, I can get a proper treatment. 30 years. Uncle, with 148 million US, Lall can build 10 state-of-the-art hospitals, furnish it with beds and offices, 1 in each region, and even build a decent school in each one of the 10 regions too. but they wouldn't give Glenn Lall or any honest or decent contractor them kind of money to build it. They would never do that. Those monies are loans from China, and the Chinese gonna build it. You understand? Yes. Quarter of that money gonna build the 6th hospital. Another quarter gone in. You know who pockets? And China snatch back the half. The same way they build the Never Done airport. Yes. 200 million US and going. That is the PPP and the PNC. Both of them, uncle. I remember question Patterson when the coalition going about the runaway. He said, Glenn, they throw 1 million truckloads sand. That alone is 35 million US. Uncle, and the sand there right next door. Right next door. 2 minutes away. Where they build the runaway, the sand there right there. A truckload sand at the time to Georgetown was $13,000. Patterson telling me them pay $7,000 from 2 minutes away per truckload. That is how Patterson justifying we tax dollars in this country on the airport that begin under the PPP. And at the same time, Patterson was one of them who used to cuss it down, go in and swing him out. Let's continue, Josh. To supervise the hospitals. You hear me? Them same 6 hospitals. Guess how much to supervise each one of them, Joshua? $200 million. Uncle, $200 million can build each one of them hospitals they're talking about. Could you believe this thing, Auntie? $200 million, man, to supervise the Chinese on each one of them 6 hospitals? Are you for real in this country? Are you get ready to stay on your fingers to them, man? It's a good thing. It's a good thing. You know, Joshua, that I got strength in my body. Yep. And it's a good thing as exercise. You got to have faith. You got to have faith and good health and peace of mind to stay sane. Yes. To stay sane and law-abiding in this land with the things were going on in this country. Hear this one, uncle. 160 million US dollar the government going to spend to build a child and maternal hospital at Ogle. You hear me, buddy? Yep. 160 million US to build a child and maternal hospital at Ogle. Uncle, 160 million US dollar can give you 16 10-story buildings on Regent Street. With that kind of money, you can build one of the best state-of-the-art hospitals in America. Yeah, man. What treat you for cancer, heart disease, sugar, kidney problems, everything. 160 million can do that in America. Oh. That is what them are going to spend for build a child and maternal hospital at Ogle. No contract was awarded to supervise this one yet. This one might cost another hospital money to supervise it. So that's 6 and this one has 7 hospitals. Is what you are really allowing these people to do to you, man. You got to say something, Do something, buddy. Oh, you're going to vote for them. I am a stain my finger too. Stain my finger for any one of them. Like I said, Barajag, they've been to Babajan in Borbis to mark the death anniversary of Cherry Jagan and tell the people he bus and truck down there how Glenn Lall forming an oil party. He and the PNC better pray that he mouth don't fall on me, because he and all of them will live to regret it with what they did and what they're doing to you and the people of this country. Three-quarters of we children going to school with empty lunch kits. Policemen and women starving. Public servants can't pay their rent. Old age pensioners can't survive a week with the money they're getting. All of this happening in one of the richest country on earth today. I better pray that Glenn Lall don't get serious about forming a political party. Gosh. Oh boy. 1 second, excuse me, I got a sip of tea. Wow. 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 Oh, Papa, look what they're doing to this country. On my radio program, Jagdeo announced 3 hospitals. One in New Amsterdam, Georgetown, and Essequibo. You guys remember? 40 million US. I did tell him the 40 million US can give him 3 10-story hospitals, fully furnished with beds. He don't want to hear a story like that. You're interfering with something dear to him, or shaking a golden apple tree when you confront him in his face with facts like that. Wow. So that 3 more hospital you got there, right? 6, 1 Ogle, and this 3. That's 10. Oh. You need it though, you might need it. Because with when Exxon done with Guyana, they might even have room for some of you inside. Wow. Last year, they announced 85 million to build 2 primary schools in Region 7. One was 40.5 million and the other one $45.3 million. The contractors is B&S Contracting Services and Q&A Civil Works. Can somebody in Region 7 listening to this program send me a picture so that I can show the world what I get for 40 and $45 million? Please do it. June last year, they signed 2 contracts. One to build a nursery school in Hydroni, East Bank, Essequibo, for $51.4 million. And an extension for a dorm at Lenora Secondary School for $27.6 million. Somebody should send a picture to see the inside of the dorm, what a bill, and the nursery school. Y'all must send me these photographs. 62222 or 6246456. Get somebody to WhatsApp them. Last year, also they announced $172 million to build a flat building with 10 classrooms inside. Calling it a teaching block at the East Rheinveld Secondary School. They're still working on it. I'm going to show you the photo when it's done. That one is close by. I'm going to get that for myself. They gave a footballer and a DJ in 2021 to build a school in Linden, Region 10. And awarded the contract for $346 million. We in 2023 and the school not done yet. God Almighty, help the nation in this land. Help us. $346 million to build one school. The construction of the Northwest Secondary School, located in Mabaruma, Region 1, Josh, will cost $349 million. But when I hear them money this, reporting these things on a daily basis, the money these people are call for building these schools and these, oh my God. Father, don't give me, never give me power. Don't do them that. Don't do that. Don't do that. $349 million. Awarded to Aruka Investments. Hear that? I haven't seen a contract to supervise it. That's just to construct, have to construct it. Santa Rosa Primary School in Region 1. Yeah, primary school. $26 million to rehabilitate. You hear the word? Rehabilitate. Yes, uncle. Change couple bolts on the door. 1 and 2 locks on the door. And check 1 and 2 leak on the roof. Or put a padlock and so on the door. See if you anyway need a little, pull out a wood and put in a wood. Yes. You call that rehabilitate. Rehabilitation. Wow. I remember Neil Marks, a journalist. I think he's in newsroom now. He used to work with me. Sheikh Baksh was the Minister of Education at the time. During the school holidays, he said he spent over $100 million to fix up 3 schools on the East Coast. When Neil Marks asked him to give us a breakdown on which schools and what was done on the schools, he asked Neil Marks, who wants to know that? Neil Marks told him Lall. Man, it's like Lall upset the demon in Sheikh Baksh that day. When you ask simple, basic, straightforward questions about how your money is being spent, they're asking you who wants to know that. We never get that information until now from Sheikh Baksh. When they lose elections, he run away and live in Canada. PPP come back in power, he come back. The gravy sweet in Guyana. Ashley Singh, they run away too. Robert Prasad, Winston Brasington, run away too. Now Al Jackman back in Guyana, holding big positions with great power. Pray that Barajagdev mouth don't catch me. And God Almighty don't make that come true. Yes. So that Lall can form a political party. I can bring everybody back from wherever they go and hide. Yes. To give them the real gravy in Guyana. For some of the things they do. Let's continue. The Good Hope Secondary School on the east coast of Demerara changed 2 contractors First was BK, get the contract from the PNC for $840 million. You hear the money there? Mm-hmm. He didn't complete the job in the specified time. He and the PPP fall out. So when the PPP come back, them kick you out and give another contractor. Yes. Dean and Partners. 520 million. Them get to finish the school by June this year, brother. Man. Money move from hand to hand like drizzle in this land. All indebting you more and more. This is why salaries and pension packages can't raise. This is why you are living like dogs and cats. Can't even buy planting in your own country. Oh. The Diamond East Bank Secondary School. Yes, Diamond on the East Bank Secondary School. A little part was burned down the other day. And a contract was awarded to fix it back. $163 million. You hear me, guy? Mm-hmm. What is going on in this country? Only our Creator can help you along with your foot and mouths in the streets. Believe me. Believe me. Only your foot and hands, with the help of our Creator, will help this country in the streets. Toshida Primary School in Region 9. Joshua, hear this one, man. 112,833,800 for complete rehabilitation. This is not bill, you know, man. This is not bill, this is not a brand new one. This is a complete rehabilitation. Gosh, I don't know. Rehabilitation. You know what a word means, right, Uncle and Auntie? Take a sick person and walk you around the block and say, you're okay now. Go home. That's what rehabilitation means. Patching up, Uncle. Patching up wherever you got to patch up. Pace up, we got to be pace up. And cover up, we got to cover up. That is what is rehabilitation. And that is what $112,833,800. Yes. For one school. Man, a month of programs every day can't talk about this kind of corruption. You notice I ain't said nothing about road. You notice I didn't say anything about sea defense or drainage contracts or bridge contracts. Oh, mama. Oh, papa. If I am to explain that to y'all, uncle and auntie, it's going to take 4 years. Every day program, 3 hours at a time. Forget them stinking, dirty stories over. Them just throw a couple truckloads of boulders, couple big brick, and that does run in the hundreds of millions. That don't be. Just a couple truckloads run in the hundreds. If they have to do a little 100 feet or 300 feet or a half mile, Papa, is in the billions you're talking about. Me don't even want to begin that, uncle. Oh, Papa. Oh, mama. Wow. Oh. Wow. St. George's Secondary were born the other day. Ashley Singh say he set aside 12.4 billion from which money will be used to build back that school. It might be 10 billion out of the 12 billion to build back that one with the rate they're going. I'm keeping an eye on it. That one only they're 5 minutes away from Kaieteur News. St. Rose's High School. The contract was awarded for 515 million to Shandong Dagjin International to build a 3-story school there. That money can give you 6 stories, not 3, or 2 3-stories with automatic toilets like the American school will wash you behind from the time you sit down inside. That is what that kind of money can do. Yarra Secondary School. That contract was awarded for $790 million to R. Basu. 790 million. Man, when you hear the language, Joshua, when you hear the language these people use to describe what you're going to get, you believe you're getting Harvard in the USA or Oxford University in the UK combined. You hear me? Hear what they said the school will have. They said the school will have 9 buildings complete with requisite laboratories, designated space for industrial arts, a main lecture hall, and other auxiliary buildings. That description, man, uncle, is even better than Harvard and Oxford. And when it's done, it's going to look like a piece of mess. Yes, it will look like a square box or an L-shaped building with a couple blackboards, with 2-3 rooms. And if you're lucky, you get a mesh fence to keep out fowl and ducks. Man, God bless you people, man. And I hope God bless me too. Uncle and auntie, if you think them couple things where you hear there is bad, and if you think that is the end of the story, hear this part of the story of everything me said. They got something called overrun and verification and variation, sorry. Yes, overrun and variation. Them 2 words. You know what I mean, uncle? Things that they didn't cater for in the original contracts and must be fixed. Variation. Yes. Let me give you an example, uncle. They cater for 5 toilets, and when they start building it, they decide that, 5 ain't gonna work, they want 10 toilets. They forget a shed, and they need one, so they have to build it. They change up the classroom settings, and that has to change. Them cater to use so much steel, stone, and when they got to the building site, they realized they got to use heavier steel and more stone. the price them had on. Joshua, the price they had on to do that behind we back. Oh, Papa. Oh, Mama. You hear me? Like building the toilets, put on the shed and so on. Oh, Papa. Sometimes it's half the original price of the contract. You hear that? Yeah, man. So when you see they announce a school for $400 million, you're paying $600 million without them even announcing that. That is what they're doing with your money. They look for ways and every loopholes in every secret corner to empty your pockets. And all of them involved from top to bottom, uncle. When you see 1 and 2 contract prices that sounds reasonable, and you all say, yeah, man, we can live with that. At least that contractor reasonable. Find out the real cost at the end of the project. Yes. Whether you think it reasonable and the contractor reasonable, find out the cost at the end of the project. You better start off at them high contract price and live with that. It's sad, uncle. It's sad, very, very sad. You know, a gentleman tell me today that he really, 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 really does have to turn off his radio listening to me because he can't handle the pressure. And I said to him, boy, if you know what goes through my mind and the pain and suffering my soul is going through, and I am only telling you people a tiny bit of what's inside this head of both governments. I asked him, I said, could you imagine the life I have to live when the day comes? 29 years in this news business. When I see me and hear when I speak, some others say, Glenn, you're overreacting. If I only know the things that I know of these criminals I am staining your fingers for every elections after elections. Wow. Josh? 14 years I didn't speak to Barajagdev in this land. My newspaper and I played a role in bringing about a change in 2015. 2-3 months into the coalition government, I stopped talking to every one of them too. They were worse than the PPP. I have decided to stick with my Creator. He gave me comfort and joy and the wisdom with a voice to say it loud to all of you. You guys notice I didn't touch the airstrips? My gosh. All them airstrips, they're rehabilitating too and remodeling for the foreigners to fetch out your precious minerals. Man, uncle, when you hear them hundreds of millions to throw a little crush and run and get a roller and roll the runway, man, you may want to vomit or check yourself in the private hospitals. Because, you know, them ain't got no public hospitals that could hold you or maintain sanity. Hearing those stories, wow, it really pains your soul, eh? Is this Africa and Asia all over? Or worse than the two of them, Josh? Are we on God's green earth or in hell, man? Josh? Are we in God green earth or in hell, where the devil lives? I don't know. I don't know about you, uncle. I know I am on earth, but not with the devils. Not with them. Josh?
Yes, sir.
I am talking too much. Rimeveld police station, oh gosh, no. What time is it, man? I over talking. Rimeveld police station, $60 million. Wow. December, man, Builder Supply was giving over 22 million to carry out additional works on that same station. You believe that? So now the station end up costing $82 million, brother. The Providence police station is the same thing. That was recently renovated at a cost of $65 million. Now they said they got to have more repairs done at an additional cost of $26 million. So that station will be costing us now $91 million. K&J Prasad Construction Services was awarded $83 million to construct the Tushin police station in Region 3. Moko police station at a cost of $86 million. $400 million has been set aside to build back the Brick Dam police station. Oh boy. Oh. Another contract was awarded $82 million to build a new Denamstel police station. Only in September, gone. Anna Regina police station was built at a cost of $215 million. Reconstruction of Baramita police station, $35 million. Renovation of Rosal police station, $74 million. $80 million was given to repair Madhya police station. New Fort Wellington police station constructed in Region 5 to the tune of $201 million. Wim police station to the tune of $67.6 million. Albion police station, $74.8 million. Man, let me end this thing, man. I don't really want to go into fire station and so on. Oh, Papa. Hey, leave me tonight. Let me take a few phone calls, please. Oh, wow. $69 million bill and I'm going to spend 20. Man, I'm talking too much. I'm talking too much. Wow. Josh,
Larry,
it's too much.
Let me remind persons that they can call us this evening on 226-7453, 226-7454, and 622-2222. It is indeed.
Joshua, and all these stories that I talk about here is being carried daily on the front page of Kaieteur News.
Yeah.
Every contract, I ensure that it is on the front pages of the front page of the Kaieteur News, very prominently, so the world can see it. Go ahead.
Call again. Good evening. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Good evening. Hi. The other night I had mentioned about the same thing that Mr. Lall is talking about. I have take my bicycle. I am a Guyanese. I am very much proud to say that I am owner of a bicycle and I have right wrong. The same sites that these people that have got this contract and this project, the government have been launching out to these contractors them. And all of them, I sit down and try to estimate the cost of first the Black Bridge at Sophia, $50 million. Second, in 3 days, $1 billion to repair the Harbour Bridge. What really is going on in our country? This is the Guyana, this is the transformation that Mr. Ali and Barrett Jagir they're talking about to get their pockets fat. I would never, and I said I would never vote for them. Have a good night, you guys. Have a good night. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Not voting for them is not the solution, my friend.
Exactly.
Getting them to stop this wholesale thievery of our resources, of our wealth, indebting us, is what we have to stop, my friend. And that can only stop if we get out into the streets.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I want to talk about this hospital. All these hospitals that they're claiming that they're going to build. The Georgetown Public Hospital is God help them. The other day I went to the eye clinic. And do you know, they're sending me a pensioner not receiving NIS from being a teacher, Brenda. And they're sending me to these private to do some OTC tests. And when I found out from the ophthalmologist, I said, this is a big corporation, the public hospital, and you do not have a machine to do my eye test as a citizen of this country. Lived all my life here. I'm not getting my NIS. These people are ridiculous, and then they're claiming they're going and build the hospital in Enmore. I'm living in Enterprise. You know the street that links to my granddaughter's school? Pack up a whole set of stone and throw sand on it and cover it a stretch of like less than 20 feet. When the rain falls, it's gone back like how it was supposed to. The community center, all covered in sheer water. Nothing is happening in this area for these citizens. I am not going to vote for these criminals. They need to be like how some other leaders in the country attending or being holding up for welfare and children in possession of another country. What you call it, the International Court of Criminals? Yeah. That when we these so-called leaders need to be criminalized. And nobody is doing it. I'm fed up. I'm telling you now, sometimes I have nothing to put to my granddaughter lunch kit. I'm not ashamed about it. You're saying the right thing. Never, never again will these people, and I'm praying to God to change all of their nasty, dirty, criminal, corrupt behavior. I'm so sick and fed up.
I hear you, girl.
Oh my
I
geez.
hear you. Thank you.
You know, like I'm getting a heart attack when I hear all these schools, the name, the amount of money that they're calling for contractor and to supervise and to do this. And they can't pay pensioners $33,000. Look, the other day, I'm not ashamed to tell you, I applied for public assistance, and I went to see this, what you call the lady, the Minister of Human Services.
Mm-hmm.
I went to see that lady, and I told her my plight, and she said, you know what? government thing, it's a thing, and whatever, they're making excuses. What you're saying is so correct. Look what's happening in France. Look what's happening in this other country, in Pakistan.
In Germany,
All
in
these other
Pakistan.
countries. People should really come out on the street, man. I'm willing to do that. My God.
Thank you, my
Mr.
dear.
Well, for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sir, please lower the volume of your radio and let's go ahead. Good night.
Totally shut up.
Yes. Go ahead now, sir.
Hi. Yeah,
Yes.
good night, Mr. Glenn and Quanin. Sometimes when you say I don't want to listen to you, like, I just feel sick, like I can't really explain me feelings, here, I tell you. Right now in this place, here, people need finance. Watch upon a program that man talking this morning, garden. But getting more and more people on the street, increasing more and more on the streets. When I tell you it's poverty, he said that everybody knows it's poverty. Nobody talking the right thing for correct nothing. But I just try to show you, you see what going on in this place, Mr. Glenn? This is real, like I can't even find words to explain. People got to go in jail and keep calling and telling you this thing steady. And I know it's gonna happen, right?
Yeah, but for them to go to jail,
and we little rice and this sugar
for
all
them,
over the place, game people. Before they take this money and give people what the rightful share, what they're supposed to get from the resources, and ease poverty in this place. Nothing nice not gonna end up going on in this place. Every day on the streets where you go there, must tell them go around by the market, whoever listening, and see what people going through on the road. And I want to know why this nation they're in a coma. Something wrong with this nation, brother. Something definitely wrong. Something got to happen. Yeah, I'm telling you. All over the place when you go, people crying out, say it's bad. The thing and sell. When you go out in Regent Street, the place dead before 3 o'clock. All them store empty. It's just them Venezuelan they in there stand up. Watching with the store owner them and all them stand up. So I don't know what they're waiting for shut down this place. And every time these people open their mouth, they're talking about billions and billions, and here people are in and balling for pressure in this place, This is what these I don't know what for fine words to tell you. But anyhow, enjoy the rest and thing, and thanks for the information.
Thank you.
But I don't know they can't get away with this, Any part of the world they got Guyanese gonna go on them.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Thank
the
you.
same shit bash and all them way you see doing stuff. I know they're doing a lot of stuff and giving people stink water for drink and all kind of thing and telling you about billions here and billions there. They're pumping the money all over the place and then people crying out in this place every day and them and giving poor people not, this money just there circulating at the top, not them coming down to a poor man.
All right, thank you, sir. We have other callers coming in this evening. Thank you.
All right.
hold a call.
Okay, hold 1 second, sir.
Wales Fire Station. The original contract was $69 million. When they done build it, they realized they had to do additional work
Hold 1 second for me, please.
for $23 million more. So that fire station ended up costing Guyana $92 million. The fire station in Andy Park began with $38 million. I see they got a shed there and cow and horse living under it. The Ogle fire station was supposed to cost $76 million. But an additional $64 million now have to be used, have to be spent to complete it. They say additional work got to be done. You see, this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. I look at the Durban Park fire station given to Mohammed's Enterprise, $648 million to build the new fire station, the new headquarters, man, on Home Stretch Avenue. Man, you got to look at it. You can build three headquarters with that kind of money. Wow. Go ahead, man, take the call.
Yes, sir. Thank you for holding. Lynn, good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Mr. Lall, I'm confused. Could you explain these millions? Are they Guyanese dollars or US dollars?
Oh, buddy, 300, 400 million is Guyana dollars.
Okay, thank you.
The first hospitals, when I said 160 million, those were US dollars. When I said 24 million US to build one of the hospitals, those were US dollars.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir.
400 million or 2 million US. 2 million US, you could put up a 5-story building, man.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good evening.
Mr. Lall,
Go ahead. He's listening.
I remember in 2015 when the coalition were campaigning, they promised the people that they would jail these leaders. And when they got into 2015, nobody was actually put behind bars. No major player within the then PPP were actually placed behind bars. Ashley Singh was able to run out the country. Brassington was able to run out the country. Charges were brought, and all those guys' charges were actually pending until they got back in office, and all of those charges were actually withdrawn. If you're telling the citizens that is in support of you, Mr. Lall, that should you get into office, you're going to jail these people, I am sure you're going to get into office. But you have to keep that promise that if these guys have to go and answer these charges, you got to promise the people and make sure that you live up to that promise. Can you promise me that tonight?
You got that. You got that right, brother.
You got it, these points, sometimes when you listen to it and you listen to what's going on in Guyana and see this fastest growing economy, the fastest growing country, and all these things, and people are I went to the market, I used to pay like $4,000 for one of these trout, and now it's $10,000. Everything is just skyrocketed, and we have all of these things at our disposal. We have oil, gold. For instance, I was in the interior a few weeks ago, and the Brazilians, they are tearing up the country. I mean, and our leaders just there with PNC and Burnham and Jagan, and they're not looking after the people of this country. Mr. Lall, you got my support.
Thank you.
Enjoy your night, sir, and I'm enjoying your program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, caller. Hello? All right, maybe we got to return the call. Yes.
I got a call here. Let me take it. Good evening.
Okay.
Good night, Mr. General. Good night, your panel.
Good evening.
Well, the skyrocketing prices that taking place in our country, the economy is ready to stand up to those prices, and our people ready to realize that them prices could be nothing to we with the wealth.
With your rent?
With the wealth, with our wealth.
Oh, well.
And those prices is like you can market and spend a $2 or 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
You don't amount of money they're about. And those prices raising because the economy
My friend, let me say this. This country is not moving forward. This country is going backward. Okay? Things are not getting better. Things are not... One second. Things are not getting better. Things getting worse in this country. If you are living day to day under borrow money, it means you're not growing. So I stop talking about we're not getting this and we're not getting that. Your country is going backward. I'm going to talk a little on the US dollars Wednesday. What's happening with that? If your country was getting better, the US dollars would have been down. Simple and straightforward like that. All right? That's how simple it can be. Anytime your country moving up, your currency becomes stronger. If your currency is not going down, it means, and it's getting weaker, it means your country is getting weaker. So we got to stop complaining about things high and things costly in the market. Understand that the oil, the gold, the diamond, the bauxite, the timber, and all the manganese, all your resources is going out the country, enriching foreign lands. And the couscous, the little kanchi, the little change, is going to one, two of our brothers and sisters who's working with them, catching a day pay. And the few dollars is going into the politician's pocket. Am I very clear? I think I've made it very clear, loud and clear there, as to where Guyana is at the moment. And nothing the PPP, the PNC, and the AFC is doing to correct this situation. Okay, thank you.
Good evening, go ahead.
Hello, Mr. Glenn.
Yes, good evening.
Good night.
Good night.
I call him from Mexico.
Yes.
After listening this weekend to Mr. John Day only speaking about upload stole election, upload beat the election, before he tell the people will renegotiate the contract and ask that the people get their fair share. He let little nursery school by throw it from PNC the election. That is nonsense. This man talking saying stupidness.
I'm glad that you're reading through and I'm seeing what's happening.
Sure, stupidness. We want to hear it fair share. We want to hear, as he said, he's going to renegotiate the contract. What's wrong?
Hold on the line. Hold on the line. He told the Bobicians that he changed the contract. He moved the royalty rate from 2% to 10%. They now have to pay taxes. But he's not telling the country that is the new oil blocks, because Glenn Lall and the Kaieteur News been hammering these bad contracts. He changed for the new small oil blocks that has nothing inside.
Okay.
Right? So that is what he's using to boast around the place and misleading the nation. The oil block with 90% of Guyana's oil, he's running and hiding and ducking when he hear that name come up.
Mr. Glenn, let me tell you something. You hear me talking about Island Gas Party? Island Gas Party going to land you a sense will never get.
I hear you, brother.
That is what is frightening. Island Gas Party has no respect for nobody but Island Gas Party, as he said, Island Gas Party. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Well, I got to support it ever, sure.
Yes. Good evening.
Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah, that's it.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to say, man, you see, there's two things you got to do to a person who is very disrespectful. You either stay far from them or you get rid from them. And John Mew is a very disrespectful man. And in spite of what you do, it's hard for you to achieve certain things from a man like that. When a person disrespectfully do you anything, he don't care what you do. And that is what people realize. That man is a disrespectful man. And when they speak like them, you either get rid of them or you stay far, far from them, very far. It's the only solution for disrespectful person. And people are realizing that John Mew is disrespectful. He don't care what he tell the nation. He don't care what he do. He don't care how he handle you. You know, just don't care. And that comes due to disrespect. If you disrespect this nation, you're going to do far better than what you do to the nation. That is my point.
Why I didn't speak to him. This is why from time the coalition going, I stopped talking to them. You know? A matter of fact, from the time you start exposing their ills they're cross, man. Themselves keeping away from you. Wow, it's too much what's happening in this land, bro. Too much.
Good evening.
Hey, good evening. Good evening to you, Glenn, and the panel, and everybody listening.
Good evening.
Mr. Glenn, right? I just wanted to know that, you know, a lot of things too. But first and foremost, Mr. VP said he coming back in office, he getting back into politics because the opposition, the PNC not knew them, that they do a wrong contract or whatever. So he come back into politics to rectify that, you know. So I still listening for when he talking and them thing for say that okay, he gonna rectify them thing for the people them. I don't know. But like they just gone away in the wind. You know what I'm saying? But another thing, right? Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, I'm glad you guys here. Yeah, you know, what going on right now is that, you know, like I say all the time, man, we is not even 1 million people and we got all this thing going on, this our reserve. We get something, you know, the finance minister, he say he can raise people pay and give the people money because it causes inflation. When inflation you talking about, that means that you have things within your mind. You know what's going on. So you basically like pressuring the people them. You keeping the people them to a standard that they can't get to so much to a level of step. Right? Another thing, right? Mr. Lall, don't feel no way, you know, that, you know, you're going to protest and so on, you know, you're showing the people them that you come out and so on. Well, remember, right? Check it out, right? The system got the people them so tight that they can't go out and protest because they got to think about their work, they got to think about the job, they got to think about the hustle. You know what I'm saying? So if they go out there and think, they got to worry about all them thing though. That's why the people them ain't coming out. There's all them big ones, them, they got it like though. So keep the people them in the pressure. So the movements is limited like you're there in a prison. I know what I'm talking about. I've been there and done that.
Thank
right?
you.
Yeah, that's how they got you.
Thank you,
like
sir.
you're in a prison system. Your movements is limited. And their movements, like I say, right? The people is so much. I go on the road. I start to people. Let me say for example, you go on the streets and you talk to 10 people and ask them a simple question. Hey, what going on? What you think the government doing for you? How you living and thing? Man, out of the 10 of them, 7 of them gonna say, hey, Israel stopping is going on. And the other 3 of them, there's the 3 of them, got their fancy vehicle and they're moving around and you're never get a song from them.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so much, sir.
when we go, yeah.
Thank you.
So, you know, you know, within the school system, you know,
Thank
they
you.
need to do more within the school system.
Thank you, sir. We have other calls. We have other calls to take this evening.
Thank
so
you.
much.
When you hear thank you, man, you got to give other people a chance. Good evening.
Hold 1 second,
Hey,
please.
good evening, brother.
Yes, good evening. You're live.
Hold 1 second.
Coast, man. A wonderful program.
Thank you.
Something that bothers me a real lot, man, and I like, you know, to my fellow Cubians who are listening to this program, you know, we need to pay close attention to what is happening all across this country. I mean, the program you normally got in the previous and so on is important, but I think sometimes you need to take a break to you know, to address issue, you know, at a regional level and so on, right? Our government, Vice President Jack Dio, who were taking loans for do all these hospitals, for do rehabilitation work, building hospitals and so on. But the hospital that they have presently on the Essequibo Coast, they don't even have a waste management program. very recently, like Saturday to be exact, I don't know who from the regional administration have used the NDC trailer and they dump a whole set of vaccination and
Yes,
gas
that was
set of-
that photograph was circulating on social media, and I think we carried that story. We carried that story in the newspaper.
That is so dangerous, and I want to know that these people don't know the very detriment and so dangerous that a waste like that could cause to our environment. You know, you build in hospital that don't have basic equipment, right? The present one that they have don't have basic equipment. They don't have a waste management program. What are these people doing really, man?
My friend, I've been telling you people, nothing these people build, nothing they did. I keep asking all Guyana, I keep asking Jack Dale, name one single thing they did for this country for the last 30 years that they can honestly say that they are proud of. You name something. Anybody name something that they're proud of that any one of the political party did for this country that you're proud of? Absolutely nothing.
Then please allow me to say this. You know, when you take a look at the dump where these people from the hospital, it's good things. It's good insulin. When you look at there's no expiry date.
I hear
there
you.
is where
I hear
our
you.
tax dollars are going.
I hear
What is
you.
the reason? What is the reason behind doing that? You know, all these hospitals that they are building, they don't have the requisite machine to function in them, and they are going to build more. This guy Jagdio, this guy should be charged against cruelty against humanity. Humanity in the sense that he is tying us behind loans. He not working no way for pay these loans, you know. He's a citizen in this country. They have to feel the blunt of the burden.
Yes.
The decision that he making presently now for taking these loans is on our backs. You know, and our people need to recognize that, man. Our people need to recognize the policy making is what happened in these land.
And
Then that is glaring. That is very glaring to see that the skullduggery, they're finding ways to off out the finances, man. You know.
And you know they're borrowing all these money to build all these schools and all these hospitals. They're borrowing these money, you know, and they're getting oil money. A gentleman asked me today, Glenn, they get almost over $1 billion US last year. What did they do with it? Did they pay out any of our debts? I had to tell the gentleman, no. They don't throw it in the budget to thief it out. Man, you got debts and you're not paying out your debts, buddy. You paying interest on debts. And this is the way you're spending our money. Look, the caller talked earlier about salary increase. Okay? Had they could have taken $200 million in 2021 and double all the public servant salary. They would have taken another 200 million out of that 100 million last year and still continue doubling people's salary. This year they can collect money, they can double people's salary, but it just don't mean to double. They want the Guyanese people to live like dogs and suffer.
The Guyanese people to stay in poverty, man.
Exactly.
You know, our country have enormous wealth that we as citizens can be benefited. But Glenn, please allow me to say one thing, one very final thing. You see, the PPP party has the foundation is built upon corruption, right? And you need to understand that going to the street now will change these guys. You know, we need what we call a next party, a different party in this country. These guys, corruption are embedded in their core value, man. So we need a new political landscape, man, so that we can bring about what we call a vast change in this land.
I hear
this
you.
thing need to happen.
I hear
very
you,
fast.
brother. I hear you.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Doing your good work.
Yeah, thanks.
And have a wonderful evening, man.
Thank you. You know the gentleman tag a PPP party under Chetty Jagan stewardship. I don't think you had corruption. I don't think so. It's from the time that man eye closed, everybody start making rings wrong him. Yes, you have 5 seconds, brother.
Mr. Glenn, how are you, sir?
Yes, you got 5 seconds. Go ahead.
Good. 2 questions. Did you know that Mr. Barajagdeo went to Barbiche and talking about that they have a anniversary for great
Chetty Jagan.
Right. Did you know that he spent most of his time talking about the election rather than talking about the great man that man is?
Good point.
Our president start talking about how racism is, rather than talking about corruption. He didn't talk about corruption. He talked about the racism in Guyana.
Oh, that's a beautiful point you raised there. When you talk about corruption, you're interfering with his testicle.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It's like you poke a needle in him.
Yeah.
And it's great that these people are calling in to know that the people that they bring to the ceremony are all paid people. They pay these people to come there. Those are the workers that they have from other districts around the Barbiche area and other parts of Georgetown, Linden, and everybody else. They bust them in. The people of Linden spend their time in the beach rather than listen to that clown Barajagdeo.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, good night, brother.
Yeah, sorry I've been holding for quite a while. Go ahead, you have a few minutes.
Namaste, my brother.
Namaste.
Mr. Lall, good night.
Yes?
What you're saying about the US dollar is very right, because up to the other day I was telling a supporter the same thing, telling me no, the country doing good. I said how we could do good when the US dollar, we can't even afford for the US dollar. And another thing, I see the lobbying that they're running on it, Chetty Jagan legacy going on. Mr. Chetty Jagan wasn't a corrupted man. So how come his legacy become a corrupted thing? When these people so corrupt, they should shame to call Chetty Jagan name. I think Chetty Jagan children should sue them for putting the father name out wrongfully because he was never a corrupted man. I wasn't a PPP, but I didn't like Chetty Jagan guy. You know why? When he get into power, you know what was the words? You can't there in a donkey cat's economy and one drive Mercedes Benz. Mm-hmm. If you understand what they're saying.
I hear you. Mm-hmm.
You got for them with a donkey cat. But these people come in the donkey cat economy and one drive Bugatti and Lamborghini and Ferrari and Rolls Royce. You understand? These people corrupted terrible. And they should stop calling Mr. Jagan name on the banner because they put in a bad name on that man. That was a loving man. Trust me what I'm telling you.
I hear you.
I wasn't a PPP, but I didn't like it because I went to his funeral when he dead. You understand me?
I hear you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, another thing. Who pay for all this SUV that they're bringing in? That exam bringing in. We, the people?
Guyana Oil.
That's wrong. They're supposed to tax them on this thing, Mr. Lall, because we got paid duty. And why they can't give all of us in this country duty free? So all we could get a vehicle. I got a whole old car that can't even afford to look it after.
Guyana's oil is
you understand,
good.
Mr. Lall? I'm glad to get another vehicle.
Thank you.
But I can't afford that.
Thank you, brother.
Because the price I got to buy a vehicle for is like I paying the company that making it 10 times for it. Thank you very much, Mr. Lall.
Thank you. Yes, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
And to Josh. And to all the listeners across Guyana and around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love that statement that the last caller called here. Made there. He made a very valid point. He made valid points there. You see what is happening is that when it comes to certain times in the year, these guys, the PBP, under the stewardship of the vice president, they go there at Babujan to masquerade themselves under the banner of that late great man, Chetty B. Jagan.
Yes.
And I think that is a that is something that is not right. It is unethical because the man did not stood up for those things. He did not stand up for those things that they are doing right now. He was a man of integrity, and none of them can class themselves with him, right? None of them. And it bothers me because you only see them coming to that place. And I want to know something. If you want to remember a comrade leader of his caliber, why would you want to go down to the cemetery area? Why don't you make a designated part of somewhere in his area? The man is from Port Morant. Why you're going down among the dead and disturbing the peace there? That does not augur well. Something is wrong with that mentality, right? And I would want to tell you something. One of the things that they were advertising over the radio leading up to this thing that happened Sunday there was the man's proposal for the new global human order. And you know what it is in a nutshell? That whole idea was to alleviate people from their miseries, right? And it also looks at the disparities between the rich and the poor. But that is not happening here. So how can they go there and profess that they are living up to the ideals of this man? That is total hypocrisy. I want them to know that that if they feel that the people don't understand what they're doing, there are people out there who are paying keen attention to what they are saying and what they are doing, and everything is in contradiction to the man's principle. They should not quote that man. That is an injustice to that man. And the PVP supporters need to understand this thing. And I will also tell you that over the years, I have noticed the number of people going to that thing, to that program. I haven't been there, but it has been dwindling, right? And so that is the reason why they have to truck in and bus in people from all over, And, from what I understand there, they had a very big preparation done to the place there. Like, I think they paved it on both sides. It's a very big thing there. You can go and park your car and all kind of story. Well, that in turns, it's long term for the cemetery and so on. But it goes to show where these people, they put their money in when they want to put the money, right? And that is something very alarming to note, right? So my contention in saying all of this is that, when you look at the PNC and look at the PVP, they're all one and the same. It's like you have Bihari curry powder, and then you have Sujata. They're all curry powder, right? So they cannot say that they are different from one another. Maybe in the quantity in which they are thieving, maybe that is debatable. But I personally know that what they are doing under this man's name is wrong. And here's another point I would like to make. Earlier a caller said something, or I think you alluded to the fact that if your country economy is performing well, that the U.S. currency should have been down, and that is so true. Yeah. Now, which CARICOM nation, apart from, I don't know if Haiti, I'm not certain if Haiti, but which other CARICOM nation has denomination of their currency in 5,000, 5,000 being the highest?
None.
I have never heard.
None.
And that is a frightening situation. And given the situation right now with the world banks, especially in the United States, it is the political pundits are predicting that the US dollar is going to fall miserably, and a new currency is going to take over, most likely the yuan from China, right? And we are going and borrowing all of these loans. And what would happen if the US currency has been really, really devalued? We will be left with decades into the future to be repaying these things.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So
That's
it's
a
alarming
very
thing.
valid and important question you asked there. But I want to talk. I'm going to talk a little on it on Wednesday. I'm getting tired.
All right. Well, you keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Like many callers before would have said, it's time now that a new political dispensation has to happen. We have had enough of this. We are tired of this nonsense and this skullduggery that goes unabated, and nobody's just doing anything. Look, the PNC, they were talking about jailing people. When they get into there, what did they do? They did nothing. But I am going to agree with you that if a man like you goes into office, I'm certain this nation can look forward to seeing a lot of people going behind bars. And that is what we want. Because for the injustice that was done to the people in this country since after 1966, right? We haven't been a righted nation until now. So with that,
Cherry Jagan.
Lall, you keep up the good work.
Yes, thank you, Cherry Jagan.
Thanks for listening, yes.
Yeah, welcome. Cherry Jagan, Forbes Burnham, and all these great leaders must be turning in their grave, Joshua. Wow. It was a lovely evening, Joshua. And thank you guys for listening. It's getting late, and I need to go take a shot. Good evening. Namaste to you guys.
The third world is not poor. You don't go to poor countries to make money. There are very few poor countries in this world. Only the people are poor. When people didn't have enough to eat, when people were driven to the edge of desperation, there's billions to be made there, to be carved out and to be taken. The capitalist European and North American powers have carved out and taken the timber, the bauxite. They have